Welcome to the Black Script Storytellers. My name is Kevin Marable, and today our guest is an actor, writer, and producer and entrepreneur. He has over 85 TV and film credits to his name and counting, and we all know him from his breakout role as Poot from The Wire. This guy never stops working. Tray Chaney is with us. Tray Chaney, how you doing today, man?
Thank you, brother. That was an amazing introduction, man. I'm doing amazing. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're so happy to have you on. It's been
Yeah,
it's been a while. We've been going back and forth, but we
yeah.
finally got you here, man. So we're excited.
That's what I said. We finally made it happen with the black script. I said, man, we've been going back and forth for a minute,
Yeah,
and I just appreciate the opportunity, man, to be on here because this is a huge platform, the black script, and I'm just
yeah,
to be one of the guests, to be able to talk to you, man. I'm honored.
yeah. No, we're honored, man. The pleasure is all ours for sure.
Yeah.
It's been a blessing to just even be in this position to be able to talk
Hmm.
to folks who are in the industry and who are doing what it is that you do.
Yeah.
And we just want to learn and grow and know more about what it is that you do, your journey, and all
Yeah.
of that. So, with that being said, I like to start every interview with a very simple question, but some
Hmm.
might find it difficult to answer. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Born ready.
I know you are, man. I know you are. That question is, who is Trey Chaney?
Man, Trey Chaney is a black young man. Even though my age might not say young, but I'm still a young man who's out here who knows his purpose, who knows that it's all about inspiring, motivating, encouraging the world as much as possible.
Hmm.
And I'm an artist, I'm a creative, I'm an actor, I'm a producer, writer, director. Most importantly, I'm a man, husband, father, grandfather, and I just, I put God first in everything I do. That's who Trey Chaney is.
Yeah, absolutely, man. A man of many hats, many
Yeah,
titles, many roles and responsibilities, and you know how to juggle them all, man, for sure.
yeah, for sure.
Now, as you stated, you're an actor, writer, producer, director, entrepreneur. Um, I'm only going to touch on it briefly, but you played Poot on The Wire.
Yeah,
Can we start there? And
for
by
sure.
starting there, I want to ask, how did you land that role as Poot in The Wire?
Well, you know, like you said, man, a lot of people, that's when they really became familiar with who I was on a national level. But I can say on a local level, starting off as a hip hop artist, some of my OGs in the game that looked out for me back in the day, Big Daddy Kane,
Yeah.
Rakim, you know, uh, just to name a few. So
Uh-huh.
starting off as a hip hop artist and then to make a long story short, transitioning into becoming an actor at the age of 19 years old when I performed in my hometown, DMV, originally from Washington, D.C., Forestville, Maryland. I performed at the legendary Lincoln Theater. And
Okay.
I want to say this was in 2000, 2001. And a woman by the name of Linda Townsend had discovered me at Lincoln Theater because I had won first place with, performing my music. So she said, I don't normally specialize in rappers, dancers, but I feel that you could be an actor. I think you have the ability to remember lines.
Hmm.
Uh, you have a great memory, as I can see you were on stage performing songs that you wrote. So when she initially approached me with becoming an actor, even though I had never did it on a national level, she said, well, one thing we can do is just take, the headshots that you already have, and the
Hmm.
resume could be built off of just you traveling, performing songs around the country, which I had that under my belt.
Wow. Okay.
The first job she submitted me for was the HBO series The Wire. A lot of people don't even know that. That was my first job that she submitted me for. That was my first audition ever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's
when you asked that question, how'd you land The Wire? It was almost like I I really got fortunate, man, because a lot of actors and artists can't say they came out the gate
yeah.
on what we now look at as one of the most groundbreaking, critically acclaimed shows, The Wire.
Yeah, it's classic.
So
Classic.
yeah, so with me, with that being my first audition, this was in 2001.
Right.
I went and auditioned for Pat Moran, who's one of the biggest casting directors in Baltimore, because the show was being filmed in Baltimore.
Right.
And I just remember walking in there, man, and I was so green to the industry. I didn't know what a slate was.
Yeah.
I didn't know when she was saying stuff like state your location and your age. I had no clue. And I told her that, in the actual audition. And a lot of people don't even know I read for Weebay. Shout out to my man Hassan Johnson, who booked the role of Weebay, but that was the character that I had read for. And I just remember getting a call back. And
Uh-huh.
for any actor or creative or actress out there that don't understand what a callback is, it doesn't necessarily mean that you booked the role, but
Right.
it's a great chance that they're interested in, and they want you to come back to read whatever monologue you had or whatever sides or lines you had.
Hmm.
They want you to read that in front of the director, writers, and creators.
Hmm.
So you can only imagine me going back for that callback and seeing David Simon for the first time.
Yeah.
Robert Colesbury, rest in peace to Robert Colesbury, who actually created and gave me the name Poot, because it's Malik Poot Carr.
Right.
Um, Nina Noble, George Pelicanos. Like I'm looking at all of the big wigs, the creators and the writer, Ed Burns. I'm looking at the people who created, wrote, executive produced. So I'm in there, and I just remember fumbling over some of the dialogue, and I said, okay, look, y'all, this is my first time doing this. And
Right.
I don't suggest any actor to ever tell no casting person in the middle of an audition, this is
This.
my first time doing this,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
I go in, I audition, man, and then I never forget, Pat Moran said, okay, we're gonna give you some times, but this time get it right. So I was already under that type of pressure, which which turned out to actually be good for me, because I work well under pressure,
Mhm.
and I credit that to Pat Moran. I credit that to the whole entire HBO The Wire staff.
Mhm.
But I remember, man, going in there, knocking them lines out, and 2 weeks later, I'll never forget, it was the month of October, I want to say 2001, when I got the call. They said, well, Trey, you didn't get cast for Weebay, but we wanted to cast you for this character named Malik Poot Carr.
Uh-huh.
And from my understanding, from my management and agency at the time, Linda Townsend, I was only supposed to be in the first 2 episodes in the first season.
Right. That's how it works, though.
And
Sometimes you
and
be
this might be a spoiler alert, but Poot ended up lasting all 5 seasons.
right.
So it's like, I mean, I can't. I think about the history, man, and I think about The Wire just turning 22 years old, and
Yeah. It's
people always ask, man, did you know that? I think I can speak for every cast member. None of us knew that that show was going to be considered one of the most critically acclaimed, groundbreaking television shows of all time. And
right.
just to still get booked
Mhm.
off of a show that I did 22 years ago, not even really getting into the evolution of Tray Chaney and getting into everything else that I've done, but starting with The Wire is what
Yeah.
boosted my career to where I am today.
Yeah. It catapulted you.
Yeah.
That was going to be my next question is, what was that feeling like, or what was that experience like, kind of having that success overnight, so to speak, even though it wasn't necessarily overnight, but
Yeah.
once people started to see you on TV, once you saw yourself on TV for the first
Yeah.
time, and people saw you in that light on HBO,
Hmm.
um, and they knew you from high school, or
Yeah.
from just from around the way and all of that.
Right.
All of a sudden, you're on TV. What was that
It,
experience like for you?
brother, it was a surreal moment, man. Just with my first job as an actor, my first audition ever, and actually landing the
Yeah,
HBO series The Wire. I remember when first season premiered. It was June 2nd, 2002.
yeah,
And when it premiered, I want to say maybe like around the third or fourth episode that had aired during that time, I was just turning 21.
yeah.
So just think, when The Wire was shooting, I wasn't 21 yet. So I was just experiencing being on a set. But once The Wire hit, now my experience, I always tell people, going to the club was never a regular experience.
Right.
Now it's, I want to pay you to come. And I'm like, You want to pay me to come to a club? And like I said, I was still green to the business, but
Right.
being internationally known after The Wire hit, it was a surreal moment. I went straight into like fame. I went straight into it. And it's like, okay, oh, we're going to fly you here to this city because they want you to speak at Harvard. Or we're going to fly you here because they want to book you for a party here. Oh, um, my first national video was with Bow Wow. Oh, his staff loves The Wire. We want to fly you to LA for the first time to pay you to. So I kind of like got hit
Yeah.
real fast with just the life, and being out at the clubs. Like I said, my experience with clubbing was just like VIP. I didn't know what standing in the line was like.
Right.
And that
You
was because
walk
of The
right
Wire.
in. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just the man, it's a moment, it's moments that I look back on, man, and I just say, man, God really had his hand on me. You know what I'm saying? And really, really let me experience what that was at a young age. But of course, you get the dark side of,
Right.
once that thing ended in 2008.
Okay, so
Yeah.
kind of touch on that real quick. What is the dark side
Yeah.
once the show ends? Is it depression? Is it trying to
Man.
find the next role?
It's if you compare it to a 9 to 5 job and you're working it for a certain amount of time and they say, okay, well, we got to let you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And once you get let go, because that's what the business in itself of being an actor is all about. It's like, okay, you work on these shows for a certain period of time, even if it's years,
Right.
all good things come to an end. And
Mhm.
The Wire was one of those experiences for me where you got to understand, if that was my first job as an actor and I'm getting casted in 2002 and I had 5 to 6 years of fame,
Yeah.
and then they
Consistent.
say the show's coming to an end,
Yeah.
it's like, I'm automatically thinking, okay, well, I'm working, I'm making money. Hollywood is getting ready to call my phone. It didn't work like that. So the dark side of it was that money that you made, well, you didn't save it. So it's dwindling now.
Yeah.
Them bills, that car note, that rent, that whatever bills you have, that money done dwindled. So now if Hollywood is not calling your phone or you're not receiving other jobs, what do? Of
Right.
course I fell into depression.
Right.
I fell into depression. I remember getting a 9 to 5 job. Um, and a lot of people wouldn't understand, what that really feels like when you're coming off of a successful show that the whole world is watching, and then you have to walk into a 9 to 5 and apply for an application. Not saying
Yeah.
that nothing is wrong with that,
Right.
but some people mentally couldn't
Fat.
handle what I went through,
Right.
because even working, you got people like, ain't you the dude from The Wire? What are you doing here? And
Yeah.
it's like, reality sets in. It's,
Yeah.
the business is the business, reality is the reality.
Hmm.
Everybody is not going to get the Will Smith, the Denzel Washington. They're not going to just automatically go to those roles. Sometimes it does happen that way,
Right.
sometimes it doesn't. I was on the side with it where it didn't happen that way, and I had to, really rebrand and restructure my whole entire situation. And I remember, even at the job, I remember getting fired from
Mm.
from a job downtown DC. I won't say the name because I ain't gonna put their name out there, but I get fired, and a good friend of mine, his name is Torrance Hall. We call him Booby, Uji Leo.
Mhm.
Um, I remember feeling down and out, and I remember him looking at me saying, "Trey, look, this is the year of being independent." This was around 2009, 2010.
Mm.
He said, "Man, we need to use The Wire as a stepping stone and create who Tray Chaney is. You're a writer, write a book." I wrote a book,
Right.
The Truth You Can't Betray.
Hmm.
My company, Chaney Vision Entertainment, started that. And my goal was to use The Wire as a stepping stone. Like, say, okay, if I'm known all across the country, I can use that as leverage to get in the door of different things that I'm bringing to the table, which
Right.
is one, music. I'm a
Mhm.
hip hop artist. I'm able to shoot these videos. I'm able to submit these videos to BET and MTV, and they're like, "Oh, you the dude from the Wild. We love the music," and I'm able to get traction that way.
Yeah.
I was able to get my book right now to this day is in the Prince George's County public school system. So I
Wow. I didn't
started,
even know that.
yeah, so I started doing things almost like I had to do things that normal celebrities wouldn't do if they
Mhm.
were down and out, even to a point with the 9 to 5 job. Okay, let me use this money from this 9 to 5 job to link up with other filmmakers like my man Frank Jackson is out there in DMV. He's a writer. He owns the camera equipment. Man, let's use our local actors, my friends in the business, and
Right.
and let's crank out our own content. I remember we was getting movies like Lorenzo and Monica, Dead Money, that's starring Clifton Powell in Walmart and Target. I was using my fan base that I already had to
Mhm.
promote everything that I was putting out independently. And I'm gonna be honest with you, brother, from 2010 to 2015, I stood on the corner of Washington, D.C., 13th and F Street near the Warner Building. Anybody from D.C. knows exactly what I'm talking about, near the shops. I sold my book, my albums, my merch out the trunk of my car,
Wow.
my independent films.
Yeah.
And that was when I developed the mentality of ownership, creating your own, controlling your own narrative, and not waiting for Hollywood to give me a shot anymore. Because I already felt the I was forced. I was
Mm.
forced to level up and be independent.
Yeah.
So when you have that type of mentality and that type of mindset, then you get the call from Bounce TV, Saints and Sinners. They're like, Tray Chaney, like you're the guy from The Wire. We heard that you were, selling your merch out the trunk of the car on the corner. Look, man, we got a role for you. They fly me to Atlanta in 2016, make
Wow.
me a series regular on Saints and Sinners. So it's like I always tell people, man, you never know what God has in store for you.
Mhm.
Never give up on your dream. I could have gave up after The Wire ended in 2008.
Right.
But I just decided to take matters into my own hand, develop this Tray Chaney mentality, as people call it today, where it's like, I'm going to get consistent,
Mhm.
I'm going to stay dedicated, I'm going to get committed, and I'm going to make this thing happen regardless. Because I always say, brother, as long as we living and breathing, it's nothing that can stop us, man. And I don't care if we're at our lowest. A lot of people get low and a lot of people get discouraged. Me, nah, because I know,
You've been there.
yeah, I
You
know what that rock bottom felt like,
Yeah.
man, when that wire ended. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, this business is not cracked up to be what it is now. You got to be independent now, bro. I
Right.
mean, even if we doing mainstream television shows, like, yeah, I'm on Saints and Sinners. We Own This City, another HBO limited series where I played a cop officer, Gordon Hawk, BMF.
Mhm.
BMF is the culture. I played Bleak on that. The
Well,
Donald Glover
well,
Project, Swarm.
before you get any further, I'm gonna mention all that. I got that.
Yeah,
I got you, brother.
yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, man, just that mentality that I have, man, of, man, I'm not giving up, man. I'm not letting nothing or
Stop.
nobody stop
Mhm.
this motion that Tray Chaney has. And I
Yeah.
know I'm speaking of myself in third
Oh,
person, but
it's all good.
I'm
It's all
here.
good. It's affirmation, it's manifestation, it's all of that,
Yeah, brother.
Um, um, a part of what you said as far as, being that it was an 8-year window from the time that The Wire ended to the
Yeah.
time that you booked Saints and Sinners, um, you, in a way, you kind of adapted the music, independent music ideology of selling it out of your trunk and selling it
Hmm.
independent, and being on the street corner and hustling, really, really getting your product off.
Yeah.
And you use that mindset and that hustle mentality to stay afloat and to
Hmm.
continue believing in your dream. You never let go of that dream.
Right.
And it took, I just want to put it into perspective for the people who are watching and listening. It
Hmm.
took 8 whole years before you got the next project.
Yeah.
to where you found success again, and that
Right.
was just a testament of, okay, if you really want this, how long are you willing to endure until
Woo.
we give you another opportunity,
Yeah.
and like you said, it's all God that's providing that way for you,
Yeah.
and that's because you stood strong in your belief and you never wavered. You know what I'm saying? So,
No,
uh,
that's real. That's
yeah,
real, brother. And I want to just add to that. I just, like you said, 8 years.
eight
Some
years.
people would have gave up after 8 days
Right,
or 8 months.
right.
It took mainstream wise, because in the middle of all of this through 2008, until they booked me in 2016, I did Streets with Meek Mill. Shout out to Meek Mill. Shout out to my brother
Hmm.
Jamal Hill, who directed and wrote that. So I was doing spots like,
Right, right.
okay, we need you for 2 days. You in 3 scenes, and it's going to premiere on BT.
Hmm.
That was something. Then, like I said, with the music, I'm able to jump on the road with Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Snoop Dogg, Slick
Yeah.
Rick. These are the OGs that seeing me pursue my music career, but they're also fans of The Wire. They're also fans of what had ended for me. So it was almost like me continuing to create new beginnings for
Mhm.
my company, Chaney Vision Entertainment, and me as an individual.
Mhm.
But another thing too, man, just having a life outside of entertainment too.
Right.
Because like I said, my wife, I'm
Mhm.
going on 20 years of marriage to my wife.
Congratulations.
So I gotta thank you, brother. I got a whole situation. My son, just he's in college now. I mean, but throughout the years of just having a life as a husband, as a father, and then I come from a big family. I'm blessed to still have my mom and dad, Skip and Elaine, my sister Candace, my aunt Petey, Uncle Jimmy, like
Mhm.
all of my village. I told my sister this yesterday. I said it's amazing. Now I truly understand what they say. It takes a village, because even during those down times of me being depressed and down and out, and you know, even if they say feeling sorry for myself, my family was there to put me on this pedestal. Like,
Right.
man, you nigga, you still Tray Chaney. Like you doing this, you doing so. Man, I couldn't. I'm just very blessed and fortunate to have what I had.
Yeah. Yeah. Your family held you up, man. They held you up.
Yeah,
They made sure that you didn't fall into that slump and stay there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Now, since then, you've been involved in so many projects. I counted a total of 85. I'm sure there's more coming, but
Wow.
I counted a total of 85 if we're including your up and coming projects. So
Yeah.
71 that are counted, and then you have 14 on the way. So that's 80,
Wow.
85. Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
I'm gonna name some of the notable ones besides The Wire, since we already mentioned The Wire. Uh,
okay, let's go.
Head of State, Saints and Sinners Judgment Day, and then you have Saints and Sinners.
Wow.
We Own the City, Swarm, Queen of Hearts, Antoine the Movie, A
Yeah,
Naughty Chris Mess,
yeah,
BMF, your
man.
movie Hidden Lies,
Wow.
and many, many more. I can go down the list because, like I said, there's so many of them. But my question to you is, what keeps you motivated to work so hard?
the what keeps me motivated, the reason why I work so hard, is because I know how quick things can disappear.
Hmm.
I know what rock bottom feels like, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I still have some of those moments sometimes being in a business. So, but the drive that I have and the determination and the focus that I have on doing the work and not looking at any job in television or film as small. I never in my life considered anything I did small level, or this is surprise some people. I never looked at anything as being huge.
Hmm.
Even if people put certain things that I've done, even if I put certain things that I've done on certain levels, I approach every role, whether I'm on the set for 3 months or whether I'm on the set for 3 hours and I got a small 5 line dialogue speaking role. I
Right.
approach every role as if this is my Oscar moment.
Mm.
And that's what keeps me motivated. Just the fact that knowing that all of this could end tomorrow.
Right.
Not And we ain't just talking about the business. We talking about life, period. Life got a funny way of reminding you. God has a funny way of reminding you when you think, you get ready to make all these plans and
Yeah.
you like, this is what I'm getting ready to do. That be prepared for things to go left.
Yeah.
and
You-
and I'm
You'll
and the
get
more
humbled real quick. You'll get
oh
humbled
my
real
goodness.
quick.
I'm not even gonna play, man. I've been humbled. I've been humbled all through this year, last year, but still coming out of whatever I'm in and still being able to create.
Right.
Like I said, we have the best tool in the world, which is the phone. We got the internet.
Mhm.
It's people shoot movies on their phone now. It's almost like as a creative, you have no excuse
Yeah, you don't.
if you want to get some content out. And
Yeah.
all it takes is one.
Yeah.
All it takes is one thing to pop, and
Mhm.
then whatever else you had. That's another thing that I like to speak about. I have so much content. Like you just named over 85 projects, and majority of those are out.
Mhm.
Whether I did them years ago or whether we doing them now. But it's so much content until when one thing, you never know when that one thing is going to just take off. It
Absolutely.
People are going to look back at
Mhm.
the journey and say, okay, I'm somebody who you can honestly say I seen him from there. I look at my fan base that don't even know anything about my shows. They just knew me from standing on the corner of 13th and F in DC to this day. They didn't even know I was an actor. So I look at everything from the beginning to it ain't the end yet. I can't say the beginning to the end. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
that's what keeps me going, bro. Just knowing it. None of this is promised or none of it lasts forever. Good
Mhm.
things come to an end, but while I have the ability and the time to put my best foot forward and continue to do the work, that's all I care about. It's like, all right, I'm still living and breathing. I woke up today. I'm gonna put in the work. I tell artists all the time, never stop promoting your brand.
Right. Right.
Don't get lazy promoting your brand. I don't care if one person on these social media platforms like it. At least you got through to one person.
Mhm. Yeah.
And like I said, man, I'm just real fortunate and real to be able to do what I'm doing, and inspire others to do what they want to do.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, as you're saying all of that, I'm thinking, I've asked several other actors as well, throughout their journey of their career, uh,
Hmm.
do they ever step back and look at how amazing their journey has been up until this point? But I kind of want to rephrase that question for you, and ask you, through everything that you've been through, from the time that you began. We can even start with The Wire or even
Yeah,
beyond The Wire, but up until current day, present day,
yeah.
how would you say that you've evolved, from then until now?
Well, the evolution of Trey Chaney is what people are witnessing right now as we speak. You
Okay.
you 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 know when I think about, because I literally just started doing this. I started stepping back and looking almost at my career as a consumer, as if I didn't know myself.
Hmm.
And it's like, wow, you're still pushing, you're still pursuing your dreams. And then I have to understand, through the grace of God, whatever happens, I created all of this.
Yeah.
Like I had to go and earn my spot on the wire. I had to audition.
Hmm.
So a person being able to start something and finish it, that's amazing. People start things and don't finish them,
Right.
when things get rough.
Hmm.
So the evolution, people will always put beside my name, go-getter,
Hmm.
hustler, ambition, motivation, I mean, just just having that drive to say, I'm going to reach my goal regardless. Like, with that, not only thing that can stop me is death. That's it.
Hmm.
And I don't even like to use that word, but I just had to keep it real. That's the only thing that can stop me from reaching the ultimate goal. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know what the ultimate goal is.
Right.
because I'm not just setting.
Constantly moving.
I'm constantly moving. I'm not just setting a goal to say, okay, I want millions of dollars and I want this. It's so many higher levels to everything, man.
Mhm.
I'm seeing things, and I might not be seeing things, and then I always tell people baby steps. That counts. Take them baby steps, man, until you reach everything that you have to reach. I just really what you mentioned in all of those titles,
Mhm.
you just gave me I just I had a memory like just now. I'm like, man, all those lines that I got to sit in my house and remember
Right.
from top to bottom, and
And
I
deliver.
love what I do. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I
Yeah.
just love it.
Yeah, you had to deliver all of that. You went through the process. You completed it. You were successful in all of those projects.
Yeah.
People remember you or get to know you in each one of those projects, whether they know you from The Wire or
Hmm.
they got to know you from Swarm or Saints and Sinners.
Yeah.
Um, there's always going to be a certain level of discovery,
Yeah.
so even when you feel like, okay, I've done something that is solidified and is a classic, there's always going to be the next generation, like that might be like, oh, I never watched that.
Yeah.
And then, once you catapult to that next level, whatever that next level is, and then you're in that next film or that next TV show, and then you get new fans, and then they go back and look at your work, like you were saying, they're like, oh, I didn't even know you were in The Wire.
That's what's happening to me now with Swarm, with
Yeah.
Donald Glover's project. Like even that one two scenes in that show
Hmm.
that went crazy, viral. People are like, wait a minute. I just went back and that was you on a wire when you were 21. It blows my mind. And even being on BMF,
Hmm.
playing this character Bleak with Meech in 2 seasons, season 2 and 3,
Yeah.
it's like a wow, people, because I even look at it like, man, I've been doing this for so long, and even Bleak, man, like earning that role on BMF. I had to audition for BMF 7 times,
Wow.
seven times in the first season. I did not get booked.
Wow.
When they called for second season, yo, we got another audition. Same casting director. Shout out to my brother George Pierre that casted me for Saints and Sinners. I ended up being a 6 season series regular on there. But
Hmm.
BMF, I had to audition for that.
Mm.
So to earn it, I'm all about earning it. I don't care if I got a relationship with you and I've known you for all these years. I'm not expecting anything from anybody. If I need to earn it, I know how to remember whatever number of pages of dialogue I need to remember to get the role. The
Right.
Keisha Cole biopic, playing Andre Lee, her A&R in that, starring alongside Keisha Cole, I had to earn the role. I had to audition for that.
Right.
So that's another thing that I want artists and creatives to understand. And that's another thing that you can attach to my name. Ain't
Hmm.
nobody give me nothing.
Right.
Nobody's giving me any of these roles. It's like I'm showing up with the same 100 people
Hmm.
saying, okay, come in here and remember this dialogue and impress these directors and writers that want to work with you.
Hmm.
And I never go in there with ego. I don't go in there saying, okay, y'all know who I am, because majority, and I pat myself on the back. Majority of them do know who I am.
Hmm.
They watch The Wire. They watch
Yeah.
stuff that I was involved in or a part of. But I go in there as if I'm a new artist every single time. I
Right.
approach everything as if I've never had a job in my life. And
Hmm.
I think, not think, I know that's what gets me the accolades. That's what gets me the awards that people, or the praise that people would say that I get, because my approach is just, okay, I'm ready to show you that you don't have to give it to me. I'm gonna earn it.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And it's always good to earn it, because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, nobody can say that they gave it to you or hold it over your head or whatever the case may be. At the end of the
Mhm.
day, you can hold your head up high yourself and say, I did that. I
I did
accomplished
that.
all of
Yeah.
those things. You know what I'm saying? And nobody can take that away from me.
Mhm.
And that also solidifies your legacy too.
Yeah.
I'll put that out there as well. Um, Now, let's put on the producer hat for just a second. I
Yeah.
want to ask, as a producer, you handle a lot of logistics to
Mhm.
ensure the project gets completed. Every project has its setbacks. What setbacks have you encountered, and what do you do to overcome those setbacks and get the job done?
Well, some of the setbacks is definitely the financial backing, because with working on all of the jobs that you might have described, taking my own money, using my own resources,
Hmm.
that could be a setback at times. But fortunately enough, I've ran across partners in this
Hmm.
business. I got to shout out my man D Free. You know what I'm saying? Dana Freeman, Anthony Clark, my man Brett Rosen,
Hmm.
Sean Armaginas. It's a lot of different partners. James Hunter. It's a lot of different partners that I've collabed with on certain projects,
Hmm.
and it's a matter of us really just putting our resources together. And when I say resources, I'm talking about money. You
Right.
know,
Okay.
that's the number one setback for independent creative artists. I don't care who you are. You know, the getting the right amount of money to do your project has a lot to do with the actors that you want to use, the production company that you want to use to shoot it,
Hmm.
the locations. So I wear that hat now, and so far I've been successful in wearing the hat of, when I put out a Naughty Christmas, I executive produced that. I found my guy Brett Rose, and me and him, he discovered me, like, like I said, on the internet, and he's a fan of mine. And he's like, okay, let's put this together and
Right.
let's get it done. It's about producing, because they know I have the ability to get it produced with the production company
Hmm.
and with the right person to shoot it, to direct it, to edit, all of that. But I think, like I said, it has been times too where that may have stalled the project a little bit from getting done, and then we just create another way. Like if it's a production company that's coming up that really want to work with us, and we work something out on the back end as far as points when
Okay.
we shooting these projects. And even I've been in the business so long to establish great relationships with a lot of actors and actresses
Hmm.
that that's in the trenches with me. That say, hey, you know what, man, let's do this together, and let's put this out. We know where this is going to go. We got pure intentions for one another, and we're gonna make this thing happen together, and we're gonna eat on the back end. So it's so many different hats that I wear when it comes to producing, man. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not hard anymore for me, because I love doing it. I
Yeah.
love making the calls. I
Yeah.
love sending the emails and saying, hey, this is what I need. This is what I feel that this is going to do. This is what I feel you will generate. We'll get this back. And then 9 times out of 10, I might be the star of it. So it's not just me producing it. I got to go still sit here and remember 50 pages of dialogue. So
Right.
it's fun, man. It's fun, and I know that this is what I was born to do.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that producing hat, you just reminded me. I'm in the middle of putting something together now that we got to just get the right resources.
Right.
Everybody has to come on board, and we got to make it happen, because the consistency of cranking out titles in this business while we're going through everything that we're going through in Hollywood right now is so important.
Hmm.
You and I know things have not been the same since the strike.
Right.
The strike taught me you better create your own television films, you better create your own films, you
Hmm.
better get with some people collectively that believe in your vision,
Hmm.
because Hollywood, they have the ability to say, hey, you ain't working for 5 months.
Yeah.
You ain't working for 6 months or a year.
Yeah.
So it just that was another thing. That strike really put a battery in my back. I said, nah, I can't go out like this. You know what I'm saying? Because now when you got people of higher power in Hollywood telling you, yo, you can't pay your mortgage, or you ain't paying your car note this week because you ain't working.
Right.
I'm from
Yeah. You get to
DMV,
sit on your
man.
Yeah. You get to sit on your hands in those situations.
Yeah, and a lot of people do. A lot of people did. A lot of people lost so much, and it's just important for us to just, like I said, keep cranking out the content, even as a producer and as an actor.
Right. Right. Um. Yeah. One thing that I often thought about and this is not a question that I have
Hmm.
listed, but um, just in our conversation, it just kind of reminded me of it. But I kind of looked at the strike and even throughout COVID as a shift in the
Hmm.
industry where we are beginning to open our eyes to the amount of power we actually have and how much
Yeah.
we can do when we come together,
Yeah.
and do things, even if it's on the independent level. And
Yeah.
some people didn't quite understand my question when I said that, because, of course, a lot of people were going through hardships at that time through
Hmm.
both. Through COVID and also through the strikes, because
Hmm.
people aren't getting paid, people aren't working, some people are losing their jobs, so on and so forth.
Hmm.
But I was just purely meaning on the creative side of things. I feel like when those situations happen, that's when the creativity shifts. And you know us, when I say us black people, we are resilient, we are creative, we know how to make a way out of nothing, you know
Man.
and and
Yeah. For
and I
real.
feel like this uprising in independent talent and
Hmm.
independent projects and content has been largely because of us and due to us. We, in a way, we made Tubi what it is today.
We
uh,
did.
yeah, but they will never give us the credit of that.
Yeah.
Give it 3 to 5 more years, you'll never hear about how we were the foundation of Tubi, until
Yeah.
Fox came along and bought Tubi and wanted to change things.
I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah, but I feel like in these times, that's when we find a new way into the door. We no longer have to do the traditional route anymore. We figure out a new way to make it happen. Technology changes, there's technology shifts. We find ways to make money. We're not
Yeah.
just going to stay broke,
We're not just gonna say stagnant. Yeah.
Right, right. And so that I just wanted to mention that, because I feel like it is important to add that in there, because a lot of times, um, the independent creatives are independent because a lot of times the doors are shut in our face, or we don't really see a way in, so we have to make a new way in.
Right.
And this is one of those cases to where we had to make a new way in,
That's
and
true.
we did it. So yeah, there was no question there. I just wanted to throw that in there.
No, that's real, man. Making a way out of no way. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And again, I use the word force. We were forced when COVID happened
Right.
to get on this internet, to get on this Instagram. That's when, the whole idea of making money on Instagram and my YouTube page, that's how that came about.
Right.
Me running Tray Chaney one YouTube page now, which my subscribers are going up, and it's you can see, you can monetize off of your content. And I had to understand that when COVID hit. And
Yeah.
even like you said, just being forced as a creative to continue to crank out your own content in television, film, commercials, music videos.
Hmm.
It's like, it was almost a great thing. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. 2020 was my probably my best year.
Mm.
Like,
Okay.
and a lot of people were looking, because 2020 was the year of the hustlers. If we're all in this lion's den, like, who's getting out?
Right.
That's what 2020 did for me.
Hmm.
And like I said, if we take it back to when The Wire ended, and I had that hustle mentality, it was a whole nother situation happening when 2020 COVID hit. It's
Hmm.
like, okay, now I got to go back to 13th and F, but now I can do it on the internet.
Yeah.
Now we can get on this internet and really, because everybody's at home.
Right.
A lot of my relationships from 2020 in the television film business, that it came from 2020 now.
Yeah.
Because it's like everybody was doing this. I was able to reach so many people, like how I'm talking to you now. What they gonna say? I'm at work. No, everybody was sitting at home, and I capitalized off of that.
Hmm.
We all capitalize off of that with each other, though, because
Yeah.
you never know who wanted to speak to you. That's the crazy thing. People. This business is so, everybody's busy,
Mhm.
everybody's running, everybody's doing this when you have to, but when you're forced to sit down, that's when you find out, okay, wow, I didn't know that this person from Jay-Z's camp even looked at me. Now they want to have a conversation about when
Right.
this is over, maybe we can, so a lot of my relationships were established that way. And then again, with the strike, like with me and my partner Food with the Camera are doing right now with, Antoine, Hidden Lies, and these movies that we're cranking out, we were just forced, man, to create our own, and not only create our own, but create opportunities for our other friends, our other actors. Because if
Exactly.
you think about people like Clifton Powell, me casting him in Hidden Lives, that's my OG. That man is the reason. Clifton Powell is the reason why I have an agent. Like he seen something in me years ago, 2016. He's like, "You have an agent?" Nah. I'm like, "Nah, man. I'm just, boom." He made one phone call. Relationships. I had an agent after that. So me reaching back out to him saying, "Hey man, I need you for this." All right, let's work it out. Or
Hmm.
me reaching out to JD Williams, who played Bodie,
Yeah. Yeah.
Anwan Big G Glover, or Hassan Johnson, who played Weebay. Like me reaching out to my friends, like, "Hey y'all, I got a budget.
I
This is
need
what it is.
you. Hmm.
Can we work this out?"
Hmm.
It's instant. And I know those guys that I name they're gonna show up. They're gonna show up and do the work.
Right. You pick the right ones, the ones that are going to be reliable. You know what they're capable of. You know the craft, uh,
Yeah,
and you know what they're going to deliver to your project. So yeah, you
right.
stick with your team and make sure that you bring the right people along with you,
Yeah,
and do everything together, as opposed to it just being a Trey Chaney project and you just finding people along the way. You much rather have it to where it's individuals that you know and you trust, and they're going to get the job done and stay within budget and all of that stuff.
right.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. um Now let's talk a little bit about your writing. As far as your writing goes, how long does it take for you to flush out your ideas into a production ready screenplay, that you can either now film yourself or pitch to a studio or a network?
Well, see, that's where I get help from.
Okay.
I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like the most that I've ever written was like treatments to my videos that
Okay.
half of them I directed along with my brother I am Don Juan. Like we collaborative, like come up with these treatments. I write that out, and
Mm.
that's easy because that's a music video. But when it comes to the film side of things, when I sit with people like a Jordan Marcel, who's better known as Food with the Camera, who's my writer,
Yeah.
for our films, it's a collaborative effort on, okay, I think this should go in there, and then we type this up or write this down. I think this should go in there, and that could be over a month's time.
Hmm.
So that's like, and that's for me. I don't know how anybody else might work, but we give ourselves time to get the thing crispy, to a point where we want it, and we all satisfied with it at the end of the day. And then when it's time to send out to the actors, the actresses, the creatives to and the production people to get on board. So
Hmm.
I want to say roughly like around a month's time.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. I didn't mention early on that you're also an author as well. So I just wanted
Yeah,
to kind of tie in um, the fact that you were an author, and in the fact that you write screenplays as well. But you have a partner that works along with you to
exactly.
yeah, to make it happen. Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. Let's talk a little bit about Hidden Lies, real quick,
Yeah,
which stars Clifton Powell, yourself. Um,
yeah.
can you tell us a little bit about that film and what it's about without giving the whole story away?
Well, Hidden Lies, my character Malcolm, lead character. I'm also an executive producer. A very dynamic script, man, with a lot of twists and turns, betrayal.
Mhm.
It's intense. Food with the Camera. My brother Jordan Marcel, who's my partner. Southeast Cinema, that's his production company. Chaney Vision Entertainment is mine. We collaborated
Mhm.
on this powerful story about my character. Malcolm gets out of jail. Well, he went to jail for some wrongdoings that he was involved in early on, but when he gets out, it's a lot of things. Hidden Lies is a great title because it's a lot of line going on when he gets out that he thinks is the truth, but at the same time he owes debts that him being gone for 8 years, them debts ain't went away. So
Mm.
now that he's out, it's like he got to pay a debt to the character Hector, which is played by Clifton Powell. And then it's a lot of different dark secrets that, in his family, with
Yeah.
the wife, with the brother, and everything that you can think of, from, like I said, betrayal, being intense, being, and also a lesson. You know what I'm saying? Because in the lesson that I can tell people without giving it away is, it's a line in there that Clifton says that a man could tell, or man or woman can tell 1,000 truths, but one lie can
Mm.
destroy anything and everything. And I feel now our culture, um, our industry, now it's about being honest.
Mhm.
It's a lot of things that's being hidden, that's being exposed.
Yeah.
It's like,
Got it.
and it's funny because Hidden Lies is perfect.
Right.
Like now it's like, okay, th- we didn't intentionally mean to drop Hidden Lies in the year of everybody, like stuff coming out on everybody in the world now.
Right.
Like, so with Hidden Lies coming out, it's one of them type of films, and people are really, really like feeling it, man. And that's one thing as a creative. When you put a movie out, you always a little bit nervous to what people might think. And I think that's with anything, even if you know that
Yeah.
it's going to be good.
Mhm.
But we're so blessed that people are really feeling it. And me, Clifton, and Jordan are actually on tour right now. We're doing a press tour.
I see
Um,
that. I
yeah,
see that. Yeah, you
we've
guys stay
we've been
busy.
yeah, man. Oh, that's another hat I wear. The publicist, the
Okay.
PR media advisor. I'm reaching out to the Fox Fives, to the Breakfast Clubs, to the Sherry Shepherd shows, and
Mhm.
everybody, all of the platforms that you see. Because like I said again, it goes back to relationships, and I'm not putting myself in a box. I
Mhm.
wear many hats, and I just feel if we have something that people can relate to, in a sense, that
Yeah.
let's pitch it. Let's get on TV. Let's get on the black script and talk about it. It's like, and that's what we've been doing, man. So this is the first time I'm announcing it on here, but we actually are already maybe 10 pages away from finishing part two.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
part two is coming. I'm letting you know now.
All right.
Yeah.
Is that one of the 14 that are up and coming, or is that, can we mark that
Yeah.
as 15?
We ain't even marked it yet. Yeah, but that's definitely gonna be one of the 15. But
Man,
yeah,
that's
man, part
crazy.
two is on the way, and we really excited. I don't want to give out no names, but when I tell you we got some names, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, if everybody thought part one was what it is, part two of Hidden Lies is gonna be it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
dope.
and you know what? Eventually this is probably gonna be a series.
Mhm.
Because we gotta think, we're living in a time now where the movies are cool, you know what I'm saying? But the series, with
Right.
people getting to know
The
the
character.
actors and getting to know talent, and the episodics. I mean, just think, if people watched Hidden Lies, think of those same people, all those thousands of people watching Six Hidden Lies. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, and that's starting to be my approach.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, and there's other filmmakers who are doing series on some of these streamers as well that are successful. Opposed to doing the film aspect. They might do the film aspect first and do part one, 1, 2, and 3. But then there's some people who are doing like a 8 episode, episodic series,
Yeah,
because in there that way they're able to stretch it out and get people to get to know the characters more. Uh,
right.
mhm. Um, Now, aside from that, you also do have a series that you're working on,
Yeah,
Love and Larceny.
yeah. Love and Larceny. Me,
Love
and me
and
and
Larceny.
fool with me and fool with the camera, man. It's a crazy 6 episode series that the first the we just started shooting the first pilot,
Okay.
and this is about a jewelry heist that takes place between a couple, and it's an ongoing, like, unrevealing story or whatever of who's actually committing these crimes. You might think it's them,
Hmm.
but at the same time, it's so many different. Again, I
Different
think
name.
Jordan's mind,
Mm,
he writes from that type of perspective. Where you might think something is one way and it's total opposite. I play a detective.
mm,
Well, I play Lieutenant Hill, and
mhm.
I'm playing a cop. And that's another thing that Chaney Vision Entertainment and Southeast Cinema that we're working on as we speak. So and again, man, that's just a testament to the creativity and actually producing. A
Right.
lot of creatives, they have a problem producing.
Right.
We don't. You know, we have the cameras, we have the crew, we have the equipment, we got the actors, you know, so as long as we have everything, let's put our best foot forward and make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, man. Let me see. I got a couple more questions
Okay.
for you. Let's talk a little bit about your entrepreneurship, man. You sell everything from merch to
Yeah.
to music to
Yeah.
you have your own fragrance. Uh,
Yeah.
you what else are you selling? You sell movies, you sell your books. Like
So you
you're a
know what,
one-stop shop, man. You do everything.
like I said, man, my entrepreneur spirit is just, it all stems back to 2008 when the wire ended. And
Right.
like I said, when I stood on those corners on 13th and F in DC, now in this day and age, we're in 2024,
Uh-huh.
cheneyway.com is my website. And I look at that as me standing on a corner
Mm.
with a one-stop shop. You got my acting class on there, you could buy that.
Yeah,
Tray
that
Chaney
too.
consultation, you can buy that.
Mhm.
My book, you can buy that on there. My new fragrance, I Body, that was created by my wife,
Mhm.
Aisha Chaney, along with myself. It's the smell of love, it's the smell of passion, it's the best smelling unisex fragrance for men and women that anybody has ever smelled. And we created this. That's also on cheneyway.com. And musically, since we into this whole thing where, you know, a lot of artists, they don't make money off of streams. You
Right.
know, I hear artists speak about not even getting a check from a streaming company.
Right.
Um, so my album, my website is set up to where it's 21 songs. I put an album out called Life of a Hustler. And
Mhm.
it's 17 videos that shot on my YouTube page, but you can actually download the album from cheneyway.com. So what I did was I wanted to tap into direct to consumer communication.
Uh,
Like the way I'm talking to you now, if if I say, hey brother, I got my new fragrance is on cheneyway.com. You go to the website right now, soon as you buy it, it comes to my phone. So I have your email address, I have your information, I can mail you your product within a certain period of time, the window that we put on there, and then there it is. There's my connection direct to consumer with my real fans or just people in general that just believe in what I'm doing.
right.
So all it takes is, even with that, all it takes is one person to smell the fragrance or see the documentary on the website or get the wire hoodie or
That's it.
want to read the book, is out of there.
Yeah, you
So
got it.
so I just made it easy for people to say, well, where can I get your stuff? Here, cheneyway.com, and everything is there.
Mhm.
It's updated every day.
Yeah.
You can go there. It's easy to check out, and is Apple Pay on there. Is all types of stuff on there that you can, you could just shop on cheneyway.com. We
Mhm.
got the wire hoodies. But like I said, man, I created it has to be more than just what people are used to seeing me as. It's more than Poop from the Wire.
Yeah.
It's more than Kendrick from Saints and Sinners or Bleak from BMF. It's now I'm establishing Tray Chaney as
The
the
business.
it's a business. Chaney Vision Entertainment, that's my company. Cheneyway.com,
Mhm.
that's the website. It's a business. Like,
Yeah.
and every time I'm out, if you notice, even with the different celebrities or just the people in general, I always have my flyers on me. They got all my information. You got the website on there. I'm always carrying our body around.
Mhm.
So it's like one way or the other. Yeah, this thing is going to happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you're doing so much, man. I see you constantly. You're always posting motivational videos. You're promoting the brand.
Yeah.
You're showcasing what you do behind the scenes, not
Hmm.
just talking about the projects, but you're actually showing that
Yeah.
you're in the middle of shooting a project, or you're catching a flight to the next project, or you're
Yeah.
you're
And
hitting
and
getting
and
a
I'm gonna
new
be honest.
station. Hmm.
Those motivational posts, man, that I put up every single morning. Well, every single rising. I don't like to say morning.
Mhm.
But on those days that I put up posts, um, a lot of people might not even understand, man. It's therapeutic for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I always share with people that we in this fight together,
Yeah.
regardless of whatever we're all facing or going through. A lot of people be like, Trey, you really inspired me, man. Like I wake up every day and look for your post, and people. I want people to understand, man. Like I'm sharing those posts with the world, but I'm also looking in the mirror at myself,
Mhm.
you know, and I gotta speak to myself that way because a lot of times I be going through the stuff that I be talking about, you know, so it comes from a real place. It really comes from my heart
Right.
and me just sharing that with the world. You
Right.
know, a lot of people when I talk about the struggle or when I talk about the pain and hardships and one day, you know, one day you good, next day you might not be feeling all that great.
Mhm.
Then you got to understand what the environment and some of the decisions that you made that put you in whatever situation that you in. Like I go through stuff every single day like a regular person because
Right.
I'm a regular person. I'm blessed to be in the spotlight where my stuff is probably a little bit more than the average person. Like somebody like the TMZ will post my stuff,
Yeah.
but I share those messages with people because I be like, man, you know, I need to speak to myself. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? I need to speak to myself
Mhm.
and I need to speak to my people to let everybody know we in this together and we can make it out. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like again, it's almost like writing. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these things, and it's the first time I'm saying this on here too, man. I'm getting ready to all of those posts, man, are getting ready to turn into my book. You know, those are
Yeah.
you're getting the audio version on Instagram. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? You're getting the up close and personal, whatever I'm wearing that day or however I look that morning or whatever. But all of that stuff is getting ready to be written in a book where you'll be able to buy it and share it with whoever you want to
Mhm.
say, okay, I remember when I watched this and now I'm reading what he actually said.
Mhm.
That because that's what it's about. I feel my only purpose on this earth is just to uplift, encourage, motivate, and inspire as much as possible. And that's for men, women, and children, you know?
Yeah. And it comes across naturally from you as well.
Yeah,
All the videos that I see, and I can feel what you're saying as far as you feel like it's almost like you're talking to yourself, or
yeah,
as you're giving the people the motivation, you're giving yourself that motivation.
yeah. Because
Um,
sometimes the hardest thing to do as a man
mhm.
is to look yourself in the mirror and knowing that if you going through whatever you're facing right now, knowing that you created it. You know, at the end of the day, you know, decisions that we make,
Yeah,
these certain decisions that we make, man, can
they all come full circle, man. They all,
yeah,
yeah,
they can and they could come at the weirdest times.
mhm,
They could come at the times when you feel like you're experiencing a high,
yeah,
and then boom,
yeah,
life. You just get hit.
yeah,
But but that's what makes life so beautiful.
mhm,
It's the ups, it's the downs, it's you being able to have a testimony to share. You
right,
know,
right,
a lot of people, man, don't even want to get out the bed, man. You'll be surprised when I share these videos, the comments that I get in my inbox. It's
mhm,
you'll
mhm,
be like, wow, I didn't even know that Trey Chaney could have been the reason why you woke up out of the bed and said that you're gonna get up, get out, and get something today.
right,
And that's what makes me know that I know I'm on the right track with this.
right,
I know I'm doing something. I
mhm,
know I'm doing something good, you
mhm,
know?
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And those are the testaments to, the energy that you're putting out into the world. You're getting it
Hmm.
back tenfold, and it's showing in your work. It's showing in the fans showing up for you every day, um,
Yeah,
and just the constant opportunities that keep coming your way as well,
right.
because like you said, you're not backing down, you're not wavering, you're standing strong in your belief and your dreams, and you're doing everything that you need to do to make it happen.
Yeah.
Um, now that's really all that I had for you. I know
Yeah.
we covered a lot. I
We
do
covered
have,
everything, man. And I'm not gonna lie to you. This is the longest I ever talked on an interview in my
really
life.
okay.
Yeah. No, it was great though.
Yeah, that's good.
And I mean, I was waiting to do this platform for a long time. So I
Yeah,
said, man, I'm gonna give you,
thank you,
I'm gonna
man.
give you an interview. And I think we got a lot of, we touched on a lot.
We
And I
did.
think you got a lot of good,
Yeah,
good content with this one.
yeah, you gave me some gems. You touched on your journey. We talked about your projects, some things that you got coming up.
Yeah.
And there is one more thing that I wanted to ask. I didn't put it in the questions, but as we were talking, it dawned on me that I didn't even think about asking this question. But at some point, I did. If and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I do recall you or seeing something about you taking on a project about Mob Deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shout
Okay.
out to Havoc.
Yeah,
Man,
okay.
rest in peace to Prodigy.
Yeah.
Unfortunate that our brother is no longer here in the physical form, but his energy never dies. And
Mhm.
right now, it's the conversation being entertained. I
Okay.
can say that. The conversation is really highly being entertained.
Okay.
And sometimes when you put things out into the universe, which is how this happened,
Mhm.
it comes back in a way that you don't even expect. Because
Right.
this was something that I had been put out years ago. And then
Okay.
for Havoc to reach out to me last year, we're fans of each other. He's
Yeah.
fans of me as an actor. I'm fans of his work as a producer and a rapper.
Yeah.
And for him to honestly say, I don't see nobody else playing me,
That
that right there
was crazy.
sparked the TMZs and
Yeah.
everybody's like, wait a minute, he went. And not only me, JD Williams,
Right.
because JD Williams, who played Bodie, we
Yeah.
got a track record of just
Right.
starring in different projects together.
Yeah. Mhm.
And it just, people understand things that make sense, and something like that makes sense.
Yeah.
When it happens, the world will know.
Oh,
And right now we just putting out that energy, man.
yeah.
At the same time continuing to crank out what we have.
Yeah.
Because at,
I can't wait to see a project that like that happen. Uh,
yeah,
and I'm sure it's probably gonna be called like The Infamous or something like that.
yeah, that'd be so crazy. That'd be so crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's dope. I don't know why I didn't have that as a question, but I'm glad it popped up in my head while we were talking.
Yeah, yeah, man.
And then lastly, I like to give all of my guests the final word, whether that be
Yeah.
a piece of advice, words of encouragement, or a quote to live by. You can say all three, or you can choose one of the three. It's up to you.
Well, I mean, just words to live by is,
Mm,
work through it to get to it. And I say that because it's a lot of individuals in this world, man, that's suffering with pain, hardship, struggles.
mhm,
And I always say this often: as long as you living and breathing, it's nothing that you can't accomplish. You
mhm,
know, uh, the words can't, bad, need, or try. We
mm,
got to take that out of our vocabulary. You could do anything in this world. You
mm,
don't have to try. All you got to do is just do it. It's nothing that you can't do. And nothing is bad. We're watching our brothers and sisters, fall asleep in death,
mm.
and we on the other side. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah,
on the other side. We still breathing. We still walking. We don't need anything. We
mhm,
we have everything we need, and I feel that each and every last one of us are right where we're supposed to be. So if we just continue to work, put our best foot forward and communicate, with each other, and stay consistent and dedicated and committed, everything we want to happen will happen. I,
yeah,
I truly believe that. I'm not going to do nothing but continue to uplift, encourage as much as possible. If you all have any uplifting, encouraging words or advice for me, I welcome all of that. Because like I said again, um, we all gotta look ourselves in the mirror, man.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes you gotta really look at everything. You gotta look at the good, you gotta look at the bad, whatever it is, you have to face it. You know, and it's time to all come together as one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 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 And you said it, man. You said it. Yeah. For real. For real.
My man.
And with that being said, Trey Chaney, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you.